Good morning to everyone. I'm Aaron Waters-Marsh, the Executive Director of the Australia UAE Business Council. Thank you everyone for joining today. I think everyone's starting to come online. I'll hand over first to our co-chair, the Honourable Christopher Pyne.
Okay, good. I should apologise. I'm jet lagged. I just got back from the United States this morning, so I'm kind of plugging the wrong things into my laptop. So I'm lucky to be here. But I was saying to thank Aaron for organising this Doing Business in the UAE forum for our members of the Australia UAE Business Council. He's doing a terrific job, and lots of people have responded positively to being part of the forum and also contributing to it, from the UAE Embassy and Austrade, right through to many of our members like Musharrkh Invest in Sharjah, Investment New South Wales, Etihad, Saffron, Haddin Fitness Club in Abu Dhabi, and the Australian Business Council Dubai, who we're very happy to be collaborating with because we all want to cooperate with each other, and of course the Abu Dhabi Investment Office, ADIO, who are our main keynote contributor. So thank you to you, Aaron, for pulling it together, and for everyone who is going to contribute. And thank you to the embassy in the UAE and the embassy back in Canberra for making it all happen with everyone's different networks. And I'm looking forward to taking part, but listening a lot and learning a lot about all the amounts of doing business in the UAE. Thank you all very much for what's going to be a very compelling couple of hours, and I'll hand back to Aaron.
Thank you very much, Christopher. First of all, I'd like to welcome Adhra Almansoori from the UAE Embassy to say a few words before we start off with the keynote speech. So I'll hand over to you, Adhra.
Thanks, Aaron. Warm greetings to everyone. My name is Adhra Almansoori. I'm the Head of Economic Affairs at the UAE Embassy in Canberra. Thank you all for joining us today, as I would like to share a few points. The UAE is well positioned as an ideal destination for trade and investment due to advanced infrastructure, investor-friendly legislation, and prime geostrategic position along the east-west trade route. The UAE government is intent on harnessing these competitive advantages, aiming to attract $150 billion of inward foreign investment by 2030 through intensified links with fast-growing economies, and under the Project of the 50 initiative, becoming one of the 10 biggest global investment destinations. And I don't know if everyone has seen it, but just yesterday, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, made the announcement of appointing a Minister of Investment. And the aim of the new ministry is to develop the country's investment vision, stimulate the investment environment internally, and continuously enhance the competitiveness of procedures and legislation to ensure that the country remains a global destination for investments and a major player in the global investment movement. I would also like to highlight that the UAE is a major hub for global investments, as it has attracted $203 billion in investments from 2003 to date. The top global investor in the UAE during this period was the US, investing $31.5 billion. The UAE government has strong budgetary measures that will continue to drive economic growth and expand the UAE's investment environment, generating significant investment opportunities across multiple sectors. The UAE has been actively engaged in efforts to diversify its economy, aiming to decrease its reliance on oil. These diversification endeavors encompass key industries such as agriculture, tourism, finance, technology, and renewable energy. Also, I would like to note that by prioritizing these sectors, the UAE seeks to create a more resilient and sustainable economy that is less vulnerable to fluctuations in oil prices and captures opportunities for growth in emerging industries. And I think that's about it for me for now. If you would have any further inquiries or want to reach out to anyone in our team, please feel free to visit investemirates.ae. Thank you. Back to you, Aaron.
Thank you very much, Adhra. Now we'll hand over to Mr. Mohammed Al-Hasani, who is the Head of Strategic Partnerships at the Abu Dhabi Investment Office. Thank you, Mr. Al-Hasani.
Thank you very much for hosting us. Thank you for the Business Council, both embassies, for giving us this opportunity to meet with the interesting people from interesting market. We, as Adhra mentioned, we in UAE we enjoy amazing value proposition. We have let's say we have open market. We would love to share our story, our every single component in our economy, every single attraction in our market with the international business community. I would love to start with a quick overview about Abu Dhabi Investment Office, what we do, what we're trying to achieve, and how can we work together. Is the presentation clear?
It is.
Can you see the presentation? Yeah, so basically Abu Dhabi Investment Office, we are the investment promotion agency for Abu Dhabi. So anything related to business or investment, we try to, increase the private sector contribution to our GDP and the economy. Everybody knows that Adhra just mentioned the value proposition of UAE, and Abu Dhabi is maybe the capital and main contributor to UAE GDP. We enjoy amazing state-of-the-art, top-notch of infrastructure, soft and hard infrastructure that pave the road for more investment to come. We always rank very high when it comes to ease or cost of doing business. And also the livability aspect is very important. That key, component. We try to, enhance our livability index, so we can attract not only companies, we also want to attract more talents to our market. So what we do in Abu Dhabi Investment Office, we promote Abu Dhabi as investment and business environment. We attract company like you to Abu Dhabi. We also facilitate your journey. So we promote Abu Dhabi. We do targeted outreach. But we also walk the walk with the company. So we work with the company and we stay with the companies and investment from initiation all the way till they set up and do operations in Abu Dhabi and beyond. We don't work alone in Abu Dhabi. We work with everybody on the ecosystem, be it policymaker, infrastructure companies, financial institutions. Research and academia is very important component in our development formula. So we are 100% government, but we focus on private sectors and private investors. In Abu Dhabi Investment Office, we have four, service offering. One is the financial incentives. So we have investment team. They develop, they manage a number of financial incentives in targeted sectors. We also responsible for all government land and assets, especially the low-performing land and assets. So we have real estate experts. They help government to, better utilize the assets and the land. And we're trying to bring more private sector investment into those land and assets. We also, we act as central procurement unit when it comes to PPP. So if Abu Dhabi government would like to do any project in a project finance model or in a PPP model, we in Abu Dhabi Investment Office, we do we do the studies, the feasibility, we make sure that the project is bankable, is feasible, and we run the tendering from initiation all the way till it got awarded to the right private sector consortiums. And we also help companies to get along with our ecosystem. So we do financial incentives. We're responsible for all the real estate and land and assets owned by government. We also the central procurement unit when it comes to PPP or public-private partnership. And we help companies and investors to connect with the wider ecosystem in Abu Dhabi. So what companies normally want or ask for? Number one, they ask for market information. So before you come to our market, you might need to know who's active and what, where is the market gap, what is the market cap. So we help people to better understand our market, and we try to provide more to updated market information. Two, we also provide guide for companies that would like to better understand our policies and regulation, especially for new emerging technology, like alternative medicine, alternative food, plant-based protein, any new, let's say, digital assets. So we help companies to navigate and better understand the regulations and policies that are available in our market that helps them to come and do their, let's say, business activity, and also at the same time protect their IP and investment. Number 3, we also help a startup to, let's say, do proof of concept. We would like to act as test bed for a new idea, for a new services, for a new, let's say, technology. So we help to, let's say, write down the protocol for more IP, more proof of concept, more pilot project, more trials to come in all sectors: construction, food, healthcare, technology, cybersecurity. So we actively working with regulators and main operators in different sectors to, let's say, to incubate more of new ideas and new innovation into our market. 3, we also help foreign companies to find their most suitable partner. Example, many companies, they would like to come from outside, but it might cost them a lot if they establish a new production line. But having maybe agreement with the existing operators on the ground might help them to form a deal or create a JV to do contract manufacturing, or in a win-win situation. You save time, you save maybe money, and also effort if you join forces with some resources on the ground. Capital raising, we don't invest ourselves, but we help people to access to many financial institutions, VC, private equity, direct investment, limited partners. So we help companies to do fundraising and find, let's say, the required capital for them to come and operate in our market. There are so many incentives and support program. So based on your business activity, business company size, we help you to register and qualify into different exemptions and support program. We also, in some cases, help you to find your best, let's say, buyer. So before you come to UAE, we would like to secure some deals or kind of an offtake for your product, so you can, let's say, minimize the risk and you know, come and do your let's say activities in our market. Last but not least, we also help companies to better understand the value proposition in Abu Dhabi and help you to select the most suitable location for your business. Is it free zone or economic specialized zone? Is it mainland or maybe technology area? What kind of utility or infrastructure you need today and also for the future? So basically, you can look at ADU as your consultants, your business development team, your, let's say, guide, your advisor in Abu Dhabi market. So again, we have 120 employees. All of us are at your service 24/7. We're based in Abu Dhabi, but we also have a number of international offices, and we look at the, you know, east and west, north and south as targeted market. We think UAE in an amazing proposition to connect let's say, the rest of the world. So please help us to help you. We will be happy and ready to answer any questions and work with you know, every one of you to help them to, let's say, realize their plan in Abu Dhabi. We open for all sectors. We help and support all sizes of companies, from early stage startup all the way till multinational companies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hasani. We'll start off with a few questions. We've got a raised hand from our very own Christopher Pine. Christopher, what would you like to ask?
Well, thank you. It occurred to me during your contribution, Mohammed, which was excellent. Does the ADO respond only to unsolicited proposals that come to you from external sources or even internal sources? Or do you have requests for proposals for particular projects or subjects that the kingdom, that the Emirates are looking for as opportunities within the UAE. So do you have a portal with requests for proposals, or is everything responsive to people approaching you with their own proposal?
Both. So we react on government vision, plan, priority, targeted sectors, but we also listen to the market. And I can tell you, our priority is the market priority. We receive many directions from government every day when it comes to targeted sectors, targeted clusters, how government would like to see the growth in Abu Dhabi. Mm-hmm. But we also receive, we're really happy to accommodate and receive more ideas, more, let's say, inquiries from private sectors. And whatever interaction we have with the private sector, we go back to office, and this shape our strategy and initiatives that we do every day on the market. So yes, we receive direction. We have a plan, clear plan, detailed plan to develop our economy. At the same time, we welcome any idea. We open for any idea from anybody. Every day we ask ourselves, how can we make Abu Dhabi better place for business? How can we grow our economy? How can we, let's say, increase the participation of a private sector to our GDP? How can we create high-skilled, high-value jobs in our market? So if anybody has any proposal or idea, this is amazing and the free advice for us. We take it serious.
Terrific. So as part of COP28 and GMIS, will ADIO be quite active in that week or 10 days?
We are really quite active, yeah. So COP28, let's say sustainability in our DNA, in UAE in general and Abu Dhabi in particular. So Abu Dhabi is one of the most, let's say, sustainable place when it comes to policies and regulation. You have so many examples. Masdar is one of the biggest, let's say, investors in renewable energy. We also just launched the third reactor for nuclear plant. So sustainability in our DNA. COP and Year of Sustainability, it's amazing, let's say, occasions where we try to attract more idea, more innovation into those sectors. But you can see sustainability across all sectors. We want to be efficient from economic point of view and also from environmental point of view.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to let everyone know that if you have any questions you would like to ask, there is actually a Q&A feature in Zoom. There's a little button down the bottom that allows you to ask a question, and that will pop up and we can answer it for you. Alternatively, you can also raise your hand, such as how Christopher has done. If we have any more questions, if not, we might move on to our next speaker today. We have Mr. Mounir Sankary from Austrade, Mounir is the Deputy Consul General.
Thank you, Aaron. Can you hear me okay?
We can. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us today.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you, Mohammed, for that useful presentation. We're very privileged, obviously, to work with ADIO and Musharrkh and all the investment promotion organizations here. But I'll just provide an update on Austrade and what we do here in the UAE, how we can support Australian businesses. And then I'll talk a little bit more about some of the trends that we are seeing from Australian companies coming and investing here and also setting up here. So Austrade is the trade promotion organization of the Australian government. We work on both trade and investment attraction as well. From a UAE perspective, we have around 7 billion Australian dollars of investments here in the United Arab Emirates as of 2021, 2022. I think that number is a little bit has increased since that time, and particularly looking at some of the new industries that I will cover shortly. But it's quite a healthy number and would love to see more. In terms of investments from the United Arab Emirates into Australia, it's around 13 to 15 billion. So again, would like to see that growing as well. As a mission here, as Austrade, we'll work very closely with ADIO, with Musharrkh and others to be able to facilitate some of the company setups and some of the investments here in the UAE, primarily looking at export market development grants. So Austrade administers the EMDG grant that is available for Australian exporters when it comes to ready to export, when it comes to some of the strategic shift, even if you're looking to explore the market, some of the marketing activities as well, you may be eligible for that grant. So I encourage everyone to consider looking at the EMDG applications and to determine eligibility and to be able to submit an application for that. As Austrade, we also run a number of missions to the region and particularly to the United Arab Emirates as a hub. So, for example, Arab Health, Gulf Food, the Big Five in infrastructure and construction, and other missions as well, such as at IDEX, where it provides a little bit of a soft landing, if you like, for Australian companies to explore the market, to connect and to understand what's happening in the market here before proceeding to the next stages of their business expansion or business planning here as well. Government to government relations are very strong. We work very closely here with the federal government, but also the independent emirates in terms of some of the Australian capabilities. And this is really where the badge of government, whether it's through the UAE Business Council, through Austrade, the embassies and others, really adds value because you're a trusted provider or trusted capability that is coming in here under that badge of government. And it's highly valuable. So I encourage everyone to reach out, to have a chat, understand what some of these networks might look like, where the opportunities may be. Mohammed had highlighted some of the sustainability angles around COP28 and others as well, but the sustainability cuts across a number of sectors. So we're finding there are opportunities in education, for example, advanced manufacturing, AI that has been really taken off around fintech as well. So it's quite a diverse landscape here, and it's important just to understand what's happening here on the ground and to provide that sort of feedback as well. And this is really where we come in with an Australian lens on these opportunities. You know, opportunities are everywhere, but it's really important to understand what are some of the risks, how to manage the risk, who to connect with and who to talk to be able to achieve that business expansion. I think maybe just to highlight two trends that we are seeing here, particularly when it comes to some of the Australian companies investing in the UAE. Previously, the UAE used to be a hub for the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, the GCC, and that was traditionally the remit, if you like, of that particular infrastructure. However, now we are seeing that the UAE is a hub for Middle East, Africa, Central Asia, even Europe, and some of the companies setting up here to be able to leverage time zones, to be able to leverage infrastructure connectivity, and to be able to tap across that whole value chain that might come across in that whole Europe, Middle East, Africa, Central Asia in particular. That again depends on the sector, but we are seeing that trend developing as well. In terms of the second trend that we are seeing is leveraging platforms. And what I mean by leveraging platforms is the ability to connect with some of the United Arab Emirates investments in other markets and other countries, but also some of the projects that the UAE is working on. And these are publicly available information, for example, in the infrastructure, in the ports, and other sort of sectors. For example, Abu Dhabi ports investing in Central Asia or in Africa, and to be able to promote these Australian capabilities to the UAE cohort and building that capability here, and then together being able to leverage that platform and manage the risk by going into some of these markets where Australian companies may not have ventured into, which are quite lucrative markets as well, particularly with the capabilities that we have in Australia around mining and resources and others as well. So it's developing really well. We have seen quite a success coming out, particularly some of the Australian companies setting up in the advanced manufacturing sector in Abu Dhabi, for example, and thanks to Adhra for their support. And I think that strategic partnership will continue and will evolve as the country grows. And as we are seeing here, there are a number of opportunities, but at the same time, you just have to know how to start the process. And I think this is a fantastic opportunity to connect with everyone. Thank you, Aaron. I'll hand over back to you.
Thank you, Mounir. It's really good to get a good perspective on how Austrade supports Australian businesses. Christopher actually just did mention, which I thought I'd bring up, that we are doing a delegation to the UAE over COP28 later this year, which will be very exciting. So it'd be great to hopefully tee up with you while we're over there and introduce you to some of our delegates. I thought I'd check quickly if anyone has any questions for Mounir before we move on. Okay, I think we're okay. Thank you, Mounir. Look, we will have a bit of question and answer time at the end as well, in case anyone has any lingering questions we can go to then. But thank you so much for that, Mounir. We'll move on now to Mr. Mohammed Al-Musharrkh from the Sharjah FDI office, Invest in Sharjah. Mr. Mohammed Al-Musharrkh is the CEO. Is he? Hello, Mohammed. There we are.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning to my UAE friends.
Well, I'm in Sydney,
and good afternoon to my Australian participants. So I'm glad to be here. I would like to thank the Australia UAE Business Council definitely for giving us the opportunity today to present. And I would like to thank some of my colleagues, Mohammed, Mounir, and Adhra for presenting. Maybe before I move to Sharjah, I would like to cover some of the points regarding the UAE in general that has been changed recently, and I think they make significant change when it comes to investing in UAE. So beside appointing a minister for investment yesterday, the UAE has taken some of the steps recently. Among them is a new commercial law, which allows foreigners to own their companies 100% out of the free zones. And I believe that this will be a game changer for bringing FDI for investing in the UAE. And to help all of this, the UAE has introduced also some of the new visa regimes for investors, which is giving the golden visa, for example, the green visa, the work from home visa, and all of these new visa facilitation that helps people to come live in UAE, invest in UAE, and work out of the UAE. And the third one is the 300 billion project, which was announced by Emirates Development Bank and the Ministry of Advanced Manufacturing and Science, where they have deployed 300 billion dirhams for producing or making products and manufacturing in the Emirates, where this fund will be deployed for manufacturers, basically, to come, move, and make use of the infrastructure, the industrial infrastructure that different Emirates have within the UAE. So going back to Sharjah, Sharjah is the third largest emirate after Abu Dhabi, of course, and Dubai were more known as the cultural capital, the educational capital of UAE, and the industrial capital as well. I myself went to an Australian university here in Dubai, which is Wollongong University. I did my postgraduate studies at Wollongong, and I did not have the chance actually to go to the campus in Australia, but I look forward to really maybe doing my further studies definitely there. If you allow me to share the screen, I don't know if I can share my screen, I have a small presentation that I would like to present. So I will go directly to Sharjah. So as you can see here, Sharjah has a strategic location within UAE itself. We are in the middle of the Northern Emirates and then Abu Dhabi and Dubai from this side. We have 33 industrial areas. We have one international airport, relatively smaller definitely than Dubai airport, but again, it's an international airport where it is also a base for one of the low-cost airlines. We have three ports actually, and Sharjah is the only emirate which has coasts on the Arabian Gulf and the Indian Ocean, which definitely gives us a competitive advantage in some of the sectors, and mainly in logistics and transportation sector. We have more than 64,000 companies registered in Sharjah, mainly small and medium companies. In 2022, we managed to get a foreign direct investment of around 290 million US dollars. We have more than 310 Australian companies in Sharjah. 80 are registered onshore, and 231 are registered in our different free zones. And the export and re-export reached to 10 million in 2022. I mean, we have a high quality of life in the Emirate of Sharjah. We host major events like golf events, sport events, entertainment events. We also have one of the largest book fairs in the world, which is Sharjah International Book Fair. We have 6 different free zones in Sharjah. 2 of them are general free zones, and then we have a couple of specialized free zones like the Sharjah Research and Technology Park. We have the Sharjah Publishing City, Sharjah Media City, and Sharjah Healthcare City. And this is why actually I opened the presentation to show you the sectors that we are currently focused on in attracting investments to the Emirate of Sharjah. And I think Mohammed and Mounir maybe covered some of them as they come as part of UAE's strategy to attract FDIs. We in Sharjah have updated our strategy and revised our strategy definitely after the pandemic, and the result of the study was that Sharjah has to focus on 7 different sectors. One of them is culture and tourism, and then mobility and logistics, and maybe because of some of the reasons that I have mentioned, health and well-being. And I think the whole world just realized how important is having a strong healthcare system after the pandemic. Agri-food technology and food security is something that the UAE in general is also focusing on. We in Sharjah are giving it a priority as well. We just launched our wheat farm in Sharjah. We are doing another farm for dairy products as well. Green technology, this comes as our commitment to sustainability, as we have be a company which is one of the leading companies in sustainability, recycling, and transforming waste into energy in collaboration with Masdar in Abu Dhabi. We also focus a lot on human capital and innovation. I said that Sharjah is an educational hub. We have more than 40,000 students in our universities, more than 2,000 PhD researchers as well. We support this also by having a research and technology park. We try to involve the entrepreneurship centers that we have. We have more than 5 entrepreneurship centers that are playing in the ecosystem of human capital and innovation as well. And last but not least, because we have the right infrastructure for manufacturing in Sharjah, we are taking it to the next level with the universities that we have, with the entrepreneurs that we have, to focus more on advanced manufacturing. Last but not least, I mean, as an FDI office, we do similar to what my colleagues at ADIO are mostly doing. So we do provide a market knowledge as well and market information to investors. We identify different investment opportunities to these investors. We do guide them step by step through different paperwork that the government might need for setting up or for their company formations. We do free advisory services for them as well on where to open, how to open, which is the best free zone or which is the best location for their businesses. And then definitely we do the aftercare services through our investor services center, which we call Saeed. And Saeed, by the way, is happy in Arabic. So we are always keen to make investors in Sharjah very happy by providing them with different services. And I think this is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. That's really interesting. I think it's quite good that there's the advisory services for businesses that are coming across. From what I've spoken to, other businesses, they often say that's probably the hardest part of starting, abroad is that having that advice and that support. So that's really good to hear. I see Christopher has raised his hand again, so we'll cross over to you.
I rather like this feature about raising your hand, so I keep thinking of questions so I can use it. Mohammed, firstly, we'd love to welcome you to Australia to reacquaint yourself with your people at Wollongong University and elsewhere. I'm sure there'll be a delegation in 2024 from the UAE back to Australia, as we had one earlier this year that went to Melbourne and focused on health and aviation. So you'd be very welcome. In terms of education, I know that Sharjah is the education capital in terms of the Emirates, as well as welcoming domestic students and I'm sure international students. Does Sharjah and its education authority have any interest in Emirati students studying in Australia as an industry, which also encapsulates things like accommodation, family going and visiting in Australia, so therefore tourism, and the same going back to the Emirates in terms of Australians setting up and buying apartments and houses and so forth in the Emirates and then going and visiting. So education is more than just the getting of the degree or the diploma. It can be a very substantial industry, which I think the embassy in Canberra, and I'm sure the embassy in Abu Dhabi, but Mounir could comment on this, I think would be interested in using in that being a use case for the Australia-UAE economic relationship, because there's I think a lot of people who take advantage of it in both two-way travel.
Definitely. Thank you, Christopher, for your question. Maybe before answering your question, I forgot to mention that 2 of the best schools that we have in Sharjah are Australian schools. So we have Victoria International School, and this is a collaboration between the state of Victoria and the Emirate of Sharjah. They have created this non-for-profit school, which is called Victoria International School, and it's one of the best schools in Sharjah and UAE, I would say. And then we have another private school, which is called Australian International School with 2 branches. They started out of Sharjah and they just opened a new branch in Dubai, I think last year. So again, it's one of the best schools in UAE. So people here in UAE have confidence in Australian education. And I think we have to work together to take the students who graduate from Victoria and Australian International School and take them to continue their Australian education further, maybe by promoting Australian higher education more in collaboration with these 2 schools and mainly with Sharjah Private Education Council. So we have a Sharjah Private Education Council that is responsible of schools. I think it would be good to work on a program with them for the graduates of these schools.
Thank you for that. Now, do we have any other questions for Mohammed before we move on to our next panelist? I think we're all saving them for the end, aren't we? Okay. Thanks so much, Mohammed. That's really, it was really great to hear from you. We'll be posting some more information that you've heard today on our website, as well as contact details for the different companies and businesses that you've heard from, just so you can reach out if there's any interest in doing so. Now I'll be crossing over to Mr. Ali Asghar from Investment New South Wales. Ali is the Director of Global Markets for Middle East and India. Investment New South Wales is one of the Business Council members, and always great to have around for providing lots of information and insight into trade with the UAE. Ali, I'll hand over to you. Thank you.
So Aaron, thank you so much for the opportunity. And it's always great to work with the Australia UAE Business Council. And I must say it has been a fantastic sort of 2 years we've had with the council, and we're looking forward to many more. Firstly, I just wanted to check, can everyone see my presentation? Yes, and it's not in presenter mode, as you can just see the presentation. Is that correct? Okay, great. Look, I firstly just wanted to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land from which I'm joining today, which is the Wongal people of the Eora Nation, and I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging, and recognize and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal peoples and their ongoing cultures and connections to the lands and waters of New South Wales. It is NAIDOC week this week, so it's specifically wanted to acknowledge their contributions, millennia-old contributions to the land which I'm joining from. I will sort of give a slightly different perspective, which is talking about why New South Wales, and basically making a case for why New South Wales is especially a great partner for the UAE to work with on all things trade and investment, and in either direction as well. As we sort of saw in the wake of the challenges that we've had in the past 3 years, both pandemic and geopolitical changes, we've had an opportunity to sort of for New South Wales to be able to extend and transform New South Wales' economic reach. And we're really sort of well placed to do it. We're Australia's largest state with a population of over 8 million, and are Australia's economic powerhouse as well. Our economy is not only comparable, but larger than that of Hong Kong or Singapore. We've been able to sort of rebound from a lot of the challenges that we faced through the floods, the fires, and the plagues, as a lot of the world was riddled with, and are home to to some of the world-class education and research institutions. 6 of our 12 public universities rank in the top world's 200. And by that, sort of, we have a highly skilled and diverse workforce as well. Mohammed, it was also very heartening to hear about your experience with University of Wollongong in Dubai. We're really proud to have them as one of our universities here, and you're always welcome to come visit the campus here in Wollongong. But of course, we can never sort of rest on our laurels. We have to continue to make sure that we continue to deliver on those, on sort of ensuring that New South Wales maintains its reputation as a powerhouse. A lot of our proactive sectors, and it was really good to see that the presentations we've seen so far, a lot of the proactive sectors that both Adio or Sharuk are working on are also our proactive sectors. And as I said, it's sort of looking at the movement from either end, be it for trade or investment, particularly looking at medtech and life sciences, technology, agri-food, visitor economy, sustainability, clean economy and resources, and defense and aerospace. The one I would also particularly add for the UAE is looking at construction and hospitality as well. So we also have a couple of precincts where we're sort of very particular on being able to attract investment into New South Wales as well. And a lot of our opportunities are based around precincts and particular regions within the state, including Tech Central, which is a space for startups and scale-ups to be able to sort of come and set up their bases or their APAC bases here. It's one of the largest tech precincts in the world and the largest in the Southern Hemisphere. Similar to that, we have a particular one, which is the health precinct centered around Westmead, which was already an existing health research precinct and is sort of building around that. And then we have regional opportunities as well through our special activation precincts that sort of focus on key sector opportunities as well, looking at agri-food, sort of looking at agri-food, and then we have defense out of Williamtown, or looking at parks sort of more from a sustainability perspective. A key one that is attracting a lot of buzz and excitement is, of course, the Western Sydney Aerotropolis and Sydney's first 24-hour international airport, and a lot of the development that is occurring around there. It is on track to open in 2026, and it will increase our already very robust aviation linkages to the UAE, and we hope to sort of continue these conversations to see how we can sort of further progress how sort of we sort of marry the development sort of aims and objectives of both UAE and New South Wales through this venture. A quick sort of note on Investment New South Wales. We are a New South Wales government agency, and these are our sort of key areas that we work on, looking at driving investment and partnerships, responding to business needs, helping New South Wales businesses go global, which of course is where UAE becomes particularly important, and then also marketing New South Wales on the world stage. Now, I should sort of go into New South Wales and the UAE. Now, a lot of the sort of themes I spoke about, you'll be able to see in action through our relationship with the UAE. I always like to mention UAE's population because I always feel that the population and the significant scale of the work that the UAE has been able to achieve is significant. And I think for a country with a relatively small population, it has just done incredible things. And even looking at the fact that just New South Wales, this is not even Australian figures, and Mounir pointed out a few Australian figures as well. Just our trade with the UAE is over $1 billion, which sort of, when you look at a country the size of UAE, really sort of punches above its weight. And whilst, of course, a lot of our export figures might sort of be more closely related to resources, it doesn't, the opportunities we see on the ground are far more diverse, and the opportunity is far more vast as well. In just sort of looking at FDI investment as well, the UAE has invested about $4.5 billion worth in FDI stock in Australia, and as Mounir mentioned earlier, about 13 to 15 billion as total investment stock as well. Key priority sectors as mentioned: F&B, AgTech, health and medtech, construction, hospitality, defense, space, and aviation. And a key fact that we like to mention as well, a lot of the asset revitalization investments that have occurred in New South Wales in the past 12 years, there have been about 9. Of those 9, 6 have UAE based investments in them. So that is sort of a significant figure, and one that has sort of really paved the way for the continued very strong relationship that New South Wales and UAE has. A sort of a quick factor, as we know, we sort of finished our previous financial year. Just through our work that we have done with the UAE, the New South Wales government, we have assisted exports of over $16 million into the UAE in the past financial year. And it sort of continues to show how significant that relationship is. And that is sort of through working through our exporters, working through the counterparts in the region as well. And obviously, education and research play a sort of significant role as well. I think most importantly, I think we're all very excited to see how the Australia-UAE Comprehensive Partnership Agreement continues to sort of move forward. We have, as New South State government as well, very keen to work with the Fed. We already are, and very keen to continue working with the federal government to see that agreement to fruition. Now, how do we sort of work with the UAE? I think we're sort of very committed in ensuring that New South Wales businesses are provided the best opportunities in the UAE, and also linking New South Wales opportunities to UAE institutions as well. One of the key sort of flagship programs we run is on the trade end is a New South Wales Going Global Export program, where we sort of take a cohort of qualified New South Wales exporters to sector-specific opportunities. That normally, those programs are about 6 months, where we do run seminars and workshops with those qualified entities, and they normally culminate in a trade show that is a sort of a trade mission, along with trade show participation at the likes of Arab Health, Gulf Food, and Agri Middle East, which is an ag tech trade show in the UAE. We also, I should mention, our work is very complementary to Austrade. Austrade and us continue to work together through all our sort of sector engagements. As you know, we're sort of the smaller pie of Austrade, sort of bigger, more Australia-focused component. So we're always very happy to work with Austrade. Similar to that, we also support our exporters and investors through IDEX, GITEX, or especially the upcoming COP28. And Christopher, as you mentioned, we're really keen to see what you have in mind, and would be very, very happy to have that conversation with you. And all sort of for the better part of our time is, of course, offering bespoke support, so one-on-one support through our export advisor network, our investment team, and especially our New South Wales Trade and Investment Commissioner in the Middle East, Mr. Moin, who most of you might already know, and he is on the call today as well. I should sort of mention a quick case study of some of our recent sort of engagements as well. New South Wales government was a partner of the Australia Pavilion, DFAT's Australia Pavilion, during Expo 2020 Dubai, and along with DFAT and Australia, sort of we built a program around Expo, and basically took virtual and in-person delegations and did a significant amount of work, which resulted in 105 clients that we serviced, 2 in-person exhibitions, 3 VIP events, virtual student recruitment events, and 7 priority sectors that were serviced. And that sort of resulted in about $40 million worth of export wins for New South Wales clients. We were sort of in the media as well. It's always nice to see the love that we got in the UAE during our engagement, and it was really some of the sort of the most, and it really sort of put New South Wales on the map in terms of really sort of trying to work very, very closely with the UAE as well. And of course, following on from that, we sort of wanted to continue that momentum. We had the New South Wales governor visit the UAE. We were very pleased with the fact that she was able to meet with the Australia UAE Business Council's co-chair, His Excellency Badr Al Ulama, as well as a couple of key highlights that she was able to have was officially opening the University of Wollongong in Dubai's new Data Science Discovery and Innovation Center, along with the UAE Minister for Tolerance, as well as she observed the signing of the MOU between Dubai Chambers, Australia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Dubai Chambers, of course, which we're thrilled about, has also also during that time announced their intention to open an office, their first Australian office in Australia, and it is going to be situated in Sydney, which we're thrilled about. As well as now, I think a couple of other things that we did was meeting with organizations that are really sort of setting the future sectors that we sort of want to engage in, which is looking at the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center, as well as a meeting with the Dubai Future Foundation that she had as well. So look, that's essentially, as I said, I'm based out of Sydney, looking after India and the Middle East. And when it's sort of Middle East, our biggest partner is the UAE. And we've got, of course, Moin and we're working out of Abu Dhabi. So we're always very keen to hear from you and see how we can sort of assist you to sort of bridge that connection. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ali. That was really informative, and I think shed a lot of light on the relationship between Australia, New South Wales, of course, and the UAE. As you said, it's quite impressive the amount of productivity that a country that size can really achieve. So there's a lot of great opportunities there for Australian businesses, and it's great to see the support that New South Wales offers businesses as well. Now we'll pass on to our next panelist today. It's Mr. Mohammed Naseeruddin from Etihad. Nasir is joining us today to talk about Etihad's support for Australian businesses, business between Australia and the UAE, and the Business Connect program through Etihad.
Hello, hi, good morning to my UAE friends and good afternoon to my friends in Australia. Hope everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. A lot of interesting and exciting presentations from my friends in UAE as well as my friends in Australia. I'm here to present about Etihad Airways, how we can help the businesses or help connecting the two countries, UAE and Australia. So I'm going to give you a short presentation about our Etihad Airways, our facts and figures, and the connecting flights between the two countries. Sorry, I think I just trying to share the screen. Can everybody see my presentation?
No, we can't, not yet. There we
Can
go.
you see it now?
Yes.
All right. Okay. A quick introduction to Etihad. Since our first flight in 2003, we have grown from a national carrier to the Etihad Aviation Group, a global organization. Our mission is to help our guests choose well, creating a world of exceptional travel choices throughout their journey. Quick facts about Etihad Airways: established in 2003, currently having 67 aircrafts, carried about 3.5 million guests in 2021, currently having 71 routes, including cargo, and carried 729,000 tons of cargo in 2021. The average age of our fleet is 6.2 years. This is our active fleet. Currently, we are having a mix of Airbus and Boeing families. We have about 50 narrow-body aircraft, which is A320 family, and we have 39 Boeing 787 Dreamliner family. We have about 8 Boeing 777s and freighter 777s, about 5, and the new generation A350 family of 5 aircrafts. That's our active fleet, and the average age of our fleet is 6.2 years. Moving on to the next slide. This is our economy product. That's how the seats looks like. A range of seat choices, including standard, space, and neighbor-free seats. Innovative smart seats with unique headrest, adjustable back support, and generous legroom. Full-size blankets and pillows. Amenity kits available on longer flights, complimentary wellness kits. And refreshments, a selection of fresh meals, including a vegetarian option, choice of complimentary beverages, including soft drinks, alcoholic beverages, tea, and coffee. As far as the entertainment and connectivity is concerned, we have hundreds of hours of on-demand movies, box sets, music, interactive games, and live TV channels with news and sports. Mobile and Wi-Fi connectivity on selected aircraft, laptop power supply and USB connection ports at every seat, onboard Wi-Fi packages starting at USD 1.99 and can be paid for with credit cards, PayPal, or Etihad Guest Miles. This is our business class product where we have fully flat beds with comforters and pillows on flights operated with Boeing 777, 787, and 350 aircraft. We don't have flat beds in our narrow-body aircraft, which is A320 and A321. Doors for extra privacy on flights operated with the A350, which is a new aircraft. We have a private suite kind of a thing where you have a complete privacy and a door for extra privacy. Aqua di Parma amenity kits on all long-haul flights, complimentary wellness kits. As far as the drinks in the business class is served right from the boarding, including a choice of champagne and premium wines, a choice of fresh Emirati and destination-inspired cuisine with both a la carte and all-day dining menus. Again, the entertainment and connectivity is the same as you see on all other aircrafts, hundreds of hours on-demand movies, music, interactive games, live TV channels, and news and sports. Noise cancelling headsets, Bluetooth headset connectivity to connect your own headset on board the A350, mobile and Wi-Fi connectivity on selected aircraft, laptop power supply, and USB connection ports at every seat. This is our lounges at Abu Dhabi. We have dedicated Etihad lounges at Abu Dhabi Airport, which is for first class, business class, and economy as well. For first and business class, it's free. where they can have a full day dining, inspired dining, and additional services, including a dedicated concierge and VIP room, delicious complimentary food with a selection of premium drinks, multiple areas to relax, play, or work, including a family room. But as far as the economy guests are concerned, they can pay to get the access to the lounge, and there is an option to upgrade to a private area within the lounge. This is our route network, where we currently fly to 71 destinations, including the cargo and freighter services. To Australia, we have direct flights between Melbourne, Abu Dhabi and Melbourne, Abu Dhabi to Sydney and back. This is our upcoming new midfield terminal at Abu Dhabi Airport, which is expected to open in November this year. And the quick facts about the new terminal is we have 65 gates and a capacity of 30 million passengers per year. 28 kilometers of baggage handling system can process about 19,000 bags per hour. And it has a capacity to handle 2.5 million tons of cargo and 90,000 meals per day. So that's very exciting, and it's the look of the airport it's excellent, and we are really excited and looking forward to have our new midfield terminal. Now, as Aaron mentioned, the main point we would like to focus on is the product called Business Connect. That it's a loyalty program built for SMEs. So if you are planning to start up a new business in UAE, and if the size of your company is from small or medium, this program is ideally designed for you. What it does is basically when you sign up for this program, your company, your business earns the miles on the flights that you take with Etihad Airways. So, for example, if any of your guest is flying with us from Australia to UAE, he will continue to earn his own loyalty points. On top of that, when you register as a Business Connect program, the company will also earn the miles on top of the guest earning their miles. So the benefit of that is you acquire miles, and those miles can be redeemed for taking upgrades, or you can also redeem for taking free flights. And there's also a whole set of reward shop where you can also shop for different types of gift packages against the miles. Joining is easy, it's free, it has to be a registered company where Business Connect program is available. So in this case, either UAE or Australia. So this program is available in both the countries. So you have to just provide us the license and the name of the frequent travelers. Then we will register your company as a Business Connect program under the Business Connect program, and you can start earning the points. And the procedure to earn points is whenever you make a booking, you will just quote your personal identification number, which is called the PIN number. You can book either directly with Etihad Airways website, or you can also book through your appointed travel agencies. But only thing is you have to make sure that every time you make a booking, you make sure to provide your PIN number so that you can start earning the miles. And these are the flights from to Australia. We basically have daily flights between Abu Dhabi and Sydney, but the timings are different. Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, we operate flight EY451, which is departing Sydney at 3:05 in the afternoon, Sydney time, arriving into Abu Dhabi at late night, which is 11:25 p.m. These flights operates every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday with aircraft type of Boeing 777. Then we have another flight, which is EY455, departing Sydney at 8:50 p.m., arriving Abu Dhabi at 5:10 a.m. on the following day. This flight operates every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, again with the Boeing 777 aircraft. We have the other connecting flight is EY450, departing Abu Dhabi at 10:45 in the morning, arriving Sydney at 6:20 on the following day. This flight operates every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday with the same aircraft type of Boeing 777. The next flight is EY454, departing Abu Dhabi at 10:30 p.m., arriving Sydney at 6:10 p.m. on the following day. This flight operates every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Again, the aircraft type is Boeing 777. So basically, we are operating all Boeing 777 to Australian destinations. Moving on to the next flight connection, which is EY463, departing Melbourne at 3:10 in the afternoon, arriving Abu Dhabi at 11 p.m. This flight operates every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Again, the aircraft type is Boeing 777. The next flight is EY461, departing Melbourne at 9:10 p.m., arriving Abu Dhabi at 5 a.m. on the following day. This flight operates every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and the aircraft type is again Boeing 777. Moving on to the next flight, which is EY462, Abu Dhabi, departing at 9:55 in the morning, arriving Melbourne at 5 a.m. on the following day. This flight operates every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Then the last flight is EY460, departing Abu Dhabi at 11:05 p.m., arriving Melbourne at 6:10 p.m. on the following day. This flight operates every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday with the same aircraft of Boeing 777. So this is the connectivity to Australia from Abu Dhabi and back. Airport transfers, whenever you fly with us, if you're coming from Australia and if you want to go to any other Emirates, for example, Dubai, Al Ain, we have coach service. If you're flying in economy, you get a free bus service from Abu Dhabi Airport to Dubai or Al Ain. If you're flying business class, you get a free limo transfers from the airport to anywhere in the UAE, which is free of cost. So that's the airport transfers. You get a round-trip transfers from Abu Dhabi Airport to anywhere in UAE and back for business, and the coach service between Dubai and Al Ain to Abu Dhabi Airport. That's it from my side. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Ellecia, and we'll be posting the details for Etihad on the website, which we'll circulate the link for after the call with the attendees. Thank you so much for that presentation. Very thorough. Now we'll be crossing over to our representative from the Australia Business Council Dubai, Sabrina Holmes. Sabrina, would you like to give us a bit of introduction into what it is the Australian Business Council of Dubai does? I know that there sometimes is a bit of confusion between us and you, given the similarity of the name, but it'd be great to introduce our audience into what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Aaron. Nasir, can I just ask you to stop your share so that we've got the screen free? Thanks. Yes, I was actually about to say that when we first met, my first question was, what is the difference between us? So I was fairly new to the role. Thank you so much for having us and for allowing us a few minutes today. I'm actually speaking on behalf of our sister organisation, AusBG, the Australian Business Group in Abu Dhabi, as well, as they can't be here this morning. So I think now that I've been in the role for a little while, I think the big differentiator for me that I can see is that we're here in the UAE as connectors. So AusBG and the Australian Business Council, ABC, very much on the ground. And whilst we are primarily business focused, so we're here to support the business community, I really love the idea that we're also a soft landing space for people arriving in the UAE. So that could be families, you know, we interact a lot with community. And I think there's a big drive now towards the legacy And certainly when I came into the role, I was advised that one of the things we want to leave behind is an element of education towards Australian children, so that they don't lose or a lot of expat so it's connecting them to that heritage and making sure that they understand where they fit in. So to quote from AusBG's mission as well, which we work very closely alongside them, it's all about connecting Australians to business and business to Australians in the UAE. So while AusBG are in Abu Dhabi, we're in Dubai, we do actually work with families and businesses across the entire UAE. And really proud of sort of hosting and collaborating closely with a lot of our corporate partners, as well as other business councils. At the moment we're in communication with the Dubai Business Women's Council, hosting a really big networking event in August with all of the international business councils. So from where I'm sitting, it's a lot to do with the connectivity and making sure that opportunities are opened up. The Australian Business Council has been here in the UAE for 30 years now, so well established, and there's a really great history there. We do work closely with Austrade, with the embassy, with the state government offices, and of course with you guys. We're really happy to be strengthening those relationships. So we do sit under Dubai Chambers. We are a not-for-profit organisation, and very much sort of focused on sharing information. So just as a really quick example, I had a call recently from a small business in WA, and she's looking to open up a branch in the UAE and just needed information. So we had a call, and I was able to share with her some real on-the-ground information about what that would entail in terms of getting her staff here and that kind of thing. So, for me, it's very much just about information sharing. We hold a lot of networking events for businesses to open up, opportunities in terms of new people landing on the ground and looking for work. And alongside that, we do a lot of family events. So, for instance, we've got the Australian barbecue in the winter months when it's nice and cool, AFL Grand Final, and some great family-based events as well. So we're trying to sort of cover across all of those areas. But by all means, what we'd love is for people who are in Australia and potentially thinking about moving to the UAE to know that we're here as a sounding board, and vice versa, those who are landing here and need support in terms of finding anything, where they need to find something, who they need to connect with, where are the advisory services, connecting them to the investment offices across the whole board. So we're really engaged in the community from all angles and collaborating with, a lot of the partners that are here on the call today, as well as those who are not, to make sure that we strengthen all of those relationships and create a really strong web of support for Australians here in the UAE. So yeah, really excited to be working with you guys. And thank you for the opportunity to do the introduction. And I hope that, that there's an opportunity there for us to continue to work together. And now I get a really clear understanding of where we sit in terms of our spaces. So it's great to be here. And I'm really, really interested to hear what everybody's had to say today. There's so many different perspectives.
Thanks so much, Sabrina. That's really great to hear from you. And as I said, we have a lot in common. We work quite closely with the bilateral business community. I like to think of it as on-the-ground support, as where ABCD and AusBG really thrive. And I think the Business Council, we focus a lot more on those kind of that bilateral kind of engagement across the two countries as well. So it's really great to have you on the call. And as I said, we'll be sharing the details of our panelists and the businesses that they work with, so that anyone listening in can get in touch. We've actually had some events in the past with AusBG and ABCD, so we'll hopefully have a similar one on our upcoming delegation at the end of the year. It'd be great to have something that we can connect our two networks, or our networks together. Now, for the last section of today's webinar, we'll be doing what I like to call a little success stories review. Now, we have two people on the call today who are what I like to think of as success stories from Australian success stories in the UAE, people who've done basically what a lot of you are looking to do, and they've made the move over there and started a business. The first person we'll be talking to today is none other than our very own advisory board member. It's Ellecia Saffron. Ellecia is, as I said, she's on the advisory board of the Business Council. She is the co-founder and the managing director of Saffron. I'll let Ellecia continue the introduction so she can have a little bit of a talk about what she does and her experience in running a business and operating a business in the UAE.
Thanks, Aaron, and hi, everyone. Thanks to everybody that's presented. I think, just a quick background for those of you that don't know me. I've been in the UAE in Abu Dhabi for the last 16 years. I moved there in 2007, and I joined the Sovereign Wealth Fund in 2007 and helped to manage their investments into Australia. It's ADIA where I joined, the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, and I helped run their investments into Australia for 8 years. And during that time, I saw an opportunity to sort of help bridge the gap a little bit more between particularly the rest of the world and the institutional investment groups in the Middle East. So we set up Saffron, which is a boutique advisory firm in 2015, 8 years ago. And we help companies and funds around the world make strategic partnerships in the region and I guess effectively connect with this part of the world. We sort of also act as part of the teams that we represent. And I think that's part of our point of differentiation and complement to what the other groups who have already presented and very effectively work and do what they do. And also we have a very strong investment background. So we've, in addition to what we do, we've also led investments and come from that angle and perspective as well. I was asked, I guess, what has changed a lot in the time since we started. And I think that's probably the one main point that I'd like to make today, really. And what has changed is effectively what you've seen in this webinar today. This all didn't exist in an ecosystem with particularly that spoke to each other. 16 years ago. It didn't really exist 8 years ago either. A lot of these groups that you've heard from today have existed over this time, but I don't think it's coexisted with such a strong intention and commitment, particularly from the UAE, to encourage and make doing business in the UAE so easy and so supported. So what's changed immensely in the time that I've been in the UAE and in the time since we set up the business as well is, that you can now, as someone mentioned, Mohammed mentioned, that you, as a foreigner, can own your business onshore now, which you couldn't do until very recently. Company formation is much easier. The free zones that existed back then still exist today, but more free zones exist now. And a lot of it is done digitally and online, whereas it never used to be that way. Visas have changed. You can now have a golden visa. I've got a golden visa. It's like a forever visa almost, and it gives you great comfort. It helps those that are deemed expats to also find comfort to invest more in the country, knowing that they can be there forever. The ecosystem hubs and support, ADIO didn't exist. Hub 71 didn't exist. These are all ecosystems that are there to support you and connect you and sort of help connect the UAE as well with the rest of the world. Sounds silly, but office space as well. It didn't used to be as easy and as nice as it is today. And there's options for all sorts of groups, big and small. yeah, and setting up a bank account is a lot easier than it used to be as well. So yeah.
Sorry, not a lot easier now than they were when you started the business. How many years ago?
8 years ago.
Years ago. That's good. What advice would you have for someone who was, I guess, starting a business in the UAE and kind of following in your footsteps?
Yeah, good question. I think the main thing that hasn't changed is the culture and of the region. And whilst all of these amazing things exist now, I think that my advice would be, particularly if you haven't spent much time in the region, is to work with a group that has spent a lot of time in the region, and that it still helps you to navigate that part of the world, to create some familiar connections for the groups that you're meeting. And yeah, the culture itself, you know, it takes a lot of time to build trust, and they like to create deep friendships and partnerships, as you can see with a lot of the things that the business council's done and whatnot. They haven't just come from nothing. That's come from all the different ties, relationships, friendships, and time that's been spent in this part of the world. So that's my one piece of advice.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. It's been great to hear from you and get a bit more of an idea about what it's been like. We'll also have another person that we will be talking to for our success stories. His name is Michael Haddin. He runs the Hakara Fitness Club in Abu Dhabi. Michael has been in the UAE now for a number of years. I'll let Michael introduce himself and what he does in his experience in the UAE.
Thanks, Aaron. And thank you to everyone else who's already spoken or presented this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are. Yeah, I guess my story is a little bit different in that I came to the UAE not 15 years ago, so in 2008, but I came here not to work. I came here to be a man of leisure. I had the same company, which was called Haddin's Fitness, back in Australia prior to coming here. But I guess I got to a point where I'd kind of possibly worked too hard and I was suffering a little bit of burnout. So I had the opportunity with my company in Sydney I had a contract in India, basically. And the contract in India allowed me just to kind of work for 4 months of the year. My background is in professional sport. So I was working with professional cricket teams in India. So I guess myself and my fiance at the time, now wife, saw it as an opportunity to potentially move abroad. And we actually moved to Dubai. And I used to commute across to India for work for those 4 months of the year. In that first 12 months, having lived here and spent a lot of time laying by the pool and doing some extra study, and the place grew on me. And since I have now restarted my company that I had in Australia, started it back here now down in Abu Dhabi. So I started that in 2010, so having arrived here in 2008. And I've had my sports fitness wellness company, was previously called Haddin's Fitness, my last name, but we've recently rebranded to, it's actually Haraka, not Hakara, which is movement in Arabic. So we kind of focus on all areas of sports, fitness, wellness, movement, and have been doing that for the last 13 years. I guess I've got a few of the points here that we'll send across to me in regards to what might be interesting for people listening in. So yes, it has changed. I mean, I remember setting my company up 13 years ago, and it was difficult and trying to know what to do and where to set it up in. Is it onshore? Is it offshore? And I initially started my company as a free zone in Ras Al Khaimah because it was kind of the only way that I could figure out how to do it. See, since then we've moved on and we've established as an LLC company in Abu Dhabi. But now with the different ecosystems and the Hub 71s and the Masdar cities, and it really is a much easier process and thing to do. I have set up several other companies in the last 13 years as well, and it just gets easier and easier as the time goes on. I guess my thoughts on people considering to come to the UAE. I mean, I'm I guess I'm a great story in that I came here for 1 or 2 years for a rest, and I've been here for 15 years, and I can't see myself leaving anytime soon. I've had 3 children born in the UAE, and it's become home. It's a great lifestyle, great work-life balance, close to lots of areas for travel, very family friendly, and then the ease of doing business now makes it a very attractive place to be.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And similar to the question I asked Ellecia, if you could go back in time, hypothetically, and do it again, what would you have done differently?
I probably, obviously, when I first started, I think I mentioned I set up in the free zone, which was a bit of a short-term solution. I guess I would have taken the time and established the company properly onshore to start with. But I mean, back then it was very difficult. It's, you know, you don't have the support and the areas that can assist you on that journey as you do now. You know, take more time and do it that way rather than doing it twice.
Fantastic.
Do it once properly. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. It's really helpful and really interesting to hear about your experience as a business person and in the UAE. Now that's at the end of our program for the webinar today. Thank you to all of our panelists who have joined us. It's been really interesting to hear a lot of different perspectives. Christopher has raised his hand already. I'll cross over to him.
Aaron, thank you. I asked my questions along the way, so I don't have any more questions, but I did want to say to thank you to all the people who presented. I think it's a great way to do this particular way of imparting knowledge to people, especially people who haven't had a lot to do with the UAE on the Australian side. So knowing that Sabrina and her team at the ABCD, but AusBG also exists, and Austrade, of course, and the embassy, and knowing that the UAE Embassy in Canberra is also very enthusiastic about promoting business is a great message in itself, as well as organisations like ADIO that exist for us all, and the Sharjah organisation too. Can I thank Ellie particularly as a member of our advisory board, but also I think when you said that there was no network like this, no ecosystem set up 8 years ago, just reminds me how important it is that the AusUAE BC continues to do its work and bring people together and organise delegations and run internships and policy documents and working groups, which we're doing. So that's, I found, very reaffirming, I suppose, is the right description. And I should also mention that we would love people to start thinking about delegation at the end of the year, which Aaron will talk about a bit in the sec. But it's around COP28 and particularly GMIS. And so people might want to start thinking about that and talking to their networks about that as well, because it's an important way to get things done and gives us an opportunity for lots of different punctuation points, which bring people together. So thank you, Aaron, and I'll hand it back to you.
All right, thanks so much, everyone. We'll be in touch, and have a great day for everyone who's in the UAE, and have a great evening for everyone who is in Australia.
Okay, thank you very much, Aaron. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you all.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.